Since 1863, there's been 9 military chaplains that have received the Medal of Honor. 4 were Protestant pastors and 5 were Catholic priests. Today, I want to talk about one of those priests, servant of God, Chaplain Father Emile Capone. And I'm just going to read you his Medal of Honor citation from the President of the United States. The President of the United States of America, authorized by an act of Congress, March 3rd, 1863, has awarded, in the name of Congress, the Medal of Honor to Chaplain Captain Emile J. Capone, United States Army, for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life, above and beyond the call of duty. Chaplain Emile J. Capone, while assigned to Headquarters Company 8th Cavalry Regiment, 1st Cavalry Division, distinguished himself by extraordinary heroism, patriotism, and selfless service between November 1st, 1950, during the Battle of Unsan. Capone was serving with the 3rd Battalion of the 8th Cavalry between November 1st and 2nd in 1950. 8th Cavalry Regiment. As Chinese communist forces encircled the battalion, Capone moved fearlessly from foxhole to foxhole under direct enemy fire in order to provide comfort and reassurance to the outnumbered soldiers. He repeatedly exposed himself to enemy fire to recover wounded men, dragging them to safety. When he couldn't drag them, he dug shallow trenches to shield them from enemy fire. As Chinese forces closed in, Capone rejected several chances to escape, instead volunteering to stay behind and care for the wounded. He was taken as a prisoner of war by Chinese forces on November 2nd, 1950. Once inside the dismal prison camps, Capone risked his life by sneaking around the camp after dark, foraging for food, caring for the sick, and encouraging his fellow soldiers to sustain their faith and their humanity. On at least one occasion, he was brutally punished for his disobedience, being forced to sit outside in sub-zero weather without any clothes on. When the Chinese instituted a mandatory re-education program, Capone patiently and politely rejected every theory put forth by the instructors. Later, Capone openly flouted his captors by conducting a sunrise service on Easter morning, 1951. When Capone began to suffer from the physical toll of his captivity, the Chinese transferred him to a filthy, unheated hospital where he died alone. As he was being carried to the hospital, he asked God's forgiveness for his captors and made his fellow prisoners promise to keep their faith. Chaplain Capone died in captivity on May 23rd, 1951. Chaplain Emile J. Capone repeatedly risked his own life to save the lives of hundreds of fellow Americans. His extraordinary courage, faith, and leadership inspired thousands of prisoners to survive hellish conditions, resist enemy indoctrination, and retain their faith in God and country. His actions reflect the utmost credit upon him, the 1st Cavalry Division, and the United States Army. And this is just a short paragraph from his general. The true story here is that Chaplain Capone ministered until the end, giving the last rites to a dying prisoner, writing the Our Father and Hail Mary on a scrap of paper, which he gave to another prisoner, and in his final hour, hearing the confession of yet another fellow prisoner. His fellow soldiers, for whom he gave his last dying breath, meant more to him than his own life. General Raymond T. Ordinary. There is no greater love than a man lay down his life for a friend. This Memorial Day, let's remember and honor Father Capone and every American who laid down her life so we can be free and celebrate Memorial Day with our family today. God bless and stay Catholic.